What if I told you that women were never just gatherers and nurturers? That throughout history, they built civilizations, led armies, shaped economies, and fought for rights that were taken from them. Let's talk about women, their power, their struggles, and their role in shaping our world. For a long time, we were told that men hunted and women gathered, but new archaeological evidence suggests something different. Women in early societies were also hunters, toolmakers, leaders, and healers. In some indigenous societies today, women still play active roles in hunting and decision-making, just like they did thousands of years ago. Even in the first settled civilizations, Sumer, Egypt, the Indus Valley, women could own property, run businesses, and even rule as queens or priestesses. So what changed? As societies became more complex and wealth became something to inherit, men took control of property and power. Laws like Hammurabi's Code gave men legal dominance. Men had more legal rights in marriage. A husband could divorce his wife for minor offenses, for example disobedience, and keep her dowry, whereas a wife had fewer grounds for divorce. A woman caught in adultery was sentenced to death, often by drowning, while a man faced no such punishment unless he had relations with a married woman. If a husband accused his wife of infidelity but lacked evidence, she had to undergo an ordeal, for example jumping into a river to prove her innocence. A man's word was often enough to convict a woman. Fathers had full control over their daughters, including the right to arrange marriages and even sell them into servitude to pay off their debts. And also, domestic violence was legally permissible. And while women could own property, their rights were limited compared to men. Sons received the primary inheritance, and widows could lose control of property if they remarried. In Greece, women were excluded from politics. In medieval Europe, they were mostly confined to the home. The same pattern played out across the world. Religion, economic structures, and the fear of women's influence all played a role. The more power centralized in the hands of kings, emperors, and the church, the more women were pushed out. Yet, women never fully disappeared from history. They found ways to influence society, whether through education, politics, or even war. The 18th and 19th century saw a shift. Women demanded education, the right to vote, the right to work. The fight was long. Some countries only gave women full voting rights in the late 20th century. With education and economic power, women reshaped their role in society, but that came with a cost, shifting gender dynamics, changing family structures, and a crisis of masculinity. As women gained more freedom, traditional gender roles collapsed. The pressure of being the sole provider diminished, but for some men, this created confusion. What is their role now? Studies suggest that loneliness among men is rising worldwide, social connections are weakening, and many men struggle with emotional expression. Some blame feminism, others argue it's the result of a changing economy, technology, and modern dating dynamics. Women today are presidents, CEOs, soldiers, scientists, and artists. They are no longer defined by one role, but with progress come new challenges. Work-life balance, gender expectations, and backlash from those who long for the past. As gender roles evolve, one question remains: how do we redefine relationships between men and women?